Merci. On va procéder en anglais. Monsieur Harold?
You could just try to explain to us, sir, why you think, or Mme Marois, why you think that this is so important for our future in Quebec, and what are you worried about if we don't do this?
Because the Quebec is gonna be one of the nation where the aging of the population is gonna be the fastest after Japan, and if we do nothing for that, it's gonna imply an increase in the cost for services, for long-term care services, very important. If we move toward home care, instead of using the institution as a solution, we can control the increase of the cost. That's the main purpose of, on an economic point of view, of the long-term care insurance, of the autonomy insurance. The second reason is that the people when they age, they want to age in place. They want to age where they choose to live. And this long-term care insurance will allow the people to live in their own house or apartment or residential facility and receive the required services. And those services is going to be funded by the public and also managed by the public. So that's the choice we have to give to the older people. So it's necessary to move that way, because otherwise it's going to be unsustainable for the healthcare system. And to be sustainable, we have to introduce the long-term care insurance. We have provision at the moment from the budget and from the commitment of our government to finance the long-term care insurance till 2017. Afterward, there is a gap between what is budgeted actually and what's the need of the long-term care insurance is going to be. And that gap, we should pay as you go. You should let the next government to put more money into that, or we should make provision, capitalize the case, the fund, to be able to support financially the aging of the population. That's the choice we have, and that's the choice we propose in the white paper.
Which choice do you prefer? Premiums, like an insurance cotisation, or do you prefer redirecting funds?
The debate is open. If you want to be ideal, in an ideal world, for an equity between the generation, you should ask people over 58 years of age to contribute more, because that's going to be this segment of the population that will benefit from the long-term care insurance. So the ideal world will allow this generation to contribute more. But the debate is open, and we will hear the population, we will hear the groups and the association, and make the best decision for Quebec.
Merci. Caroline Plante.
Hello, Mrs. Marois. What do you think has caused the drastic jump in the number of cases of elder abuse that the Human Rights Commission has taken on in the past 5 years?
I think it's a sad success. A sad success of a measure that the government put in place to allow the people to ask for help. Before the line, elder abuse line, people were not doing anything when they were suffering from abuse. With the sensibilization campaign we run, and with the line we put in place to allow the people to ask for a solution to their problem, there is more and more people that are requiring some solution for their problem. And I think in every region of the Quebec at the moment, we have a coordinator who is responsible for making all the organization and the institution together to give a solution for people requiring help. If it's financial abuse, it should be such organization that could help the people. If it's physical abuse or psychological abuse, that's going to be another type of help we have to give to these people. So I think it's it's a kind of good news, but a bad news also, because we know that there are more people suffering from abuse, but the good news is that these people can get a solution.
But at least one expert is blaming the lack of resources, like the bad ratio of care in long-term care facilities for cases of elder abuse, that there's not enough personnel, not enough staff in long-term care facilities to care for these people and prevent the abuse from happening.
The majority of the abuse is not in institution. The majority of the abuse is at home and is committed by people, by significant others. And that's this kind of abuse that is taken into account by the commissaire des droits de la personne.
Do you think this new autonomy plan could help in any way?
I think this new autonomy plan will finance the long-term care facility according to the residents they welcome, they have to care. And so there's going to be a better equity in the financing of the long-term care institution. So the more you have people with disability, the more financing you're going to have. We are moving toward an activity-based financing.
Dernière, M. Doherty.
Oui, je vais pas poser des questions d'abord à penser parce que, en tout cas, j'ai constaté un peu dans la salle, puis une question qui m'était posée. C'est-à-dire qu'avec l'approche que vous avez des gens qui sont en perte d'autonomie actuellement, pas nécessairement des personnes plus âgées, mais ils font une autogestion de leurs soins en domicile. Et là, il y a une inquiétude qu'avec ce que vous proposez, ça c'est l'économie sociale, le privé, c'est-à-dire que la personne qui maintenant gère son propre soin, je ne sais pas, est-ce que vous avez une réponse à ça?
La personne, en français ou en anglais?
En français.
Okay. Donc, la personne actuelle qui fait appel au service fait souvent appel à un gestionnaire de cas si elle fait appel au réseau de la santé et des services sociaux. Si elle ne fait pas appel au réseau de la santé et des services sociaux, il va y avoir un gestionnaire de cas qui va devoir faire l'évaluation de la personne. Mais dans cette philosophie des réseaux intégrés de services, le gestionnaire de cas est en appui à la personne et à sa famille, qui restent les responsables, les premiers responsables des soins qui doivent être donnés. Alors, lorsqu'on fait un plan de service avec la personne, c'est la personne qui décide finalement du plan de service qui correspond à ses besoins.
Et ça continue avec la nouvelle approche?
Oui, alors c'est même conforté avec la nouvelle approche. Et il y a même dans plusieurs C3S, les gestionnaires de cas ont même, le plan de service est même autorisé par la personne, une autorisation formelle. Je pense que c'est une pratique de bonne loi.
Okay. Deuxième question peut-être dans un plan. You said for people 58 and over, so people, if the premiums are set up in a way that people 58 plus pay into it, isn't it, if you spread it out, you started out, for instance, I pay parental leave aid, which I won't get now, but I pay for it, everyone pays for it, and so that means everyone pays less. But are you saying that this would be targeted specifically, the program to pay into the cash, would it be just older people, or?
You are missing an important step. The first step is to decide if we pay as we go, or if we manage provision for the future. That's the first step. The second step, having said that, having made the decision, if we make provision for the future, we will have to decide how we're going to do that. So let's look at the first step first in order to decide if we pay as we go, and if we pay as we go, that's going to be the choice of the next governments. They're going to have the choice between decreasing funding for another area for prioritizing the long-term care, or increasing the tax and income tax. So that's going to be the choice for the next government. But let's decide about the first step, which is I think the most important step.
Merci, Réjean Hébert.
I'm going to thank the question. Isn't it fair to say that the greatest obstacle you face in setting up a plan like this is deciding how you go about paying?
How we go about paying after 2017.
Exactly.
That's, I think, a major issue. It is a major issue. We cannot hide our head in the sand. There's going to be an aging. there's going to be an increase in necessary in the funding of the long-term care insurance. The long-term care insurance will decrease the increase in the cost, but will not get rid of the increase. There's going to be an increase. And the major issue is how we're going to manage this gap between what is budgeted at the moment and what's going to be the need of the long-term care insurance after 2017.